Hey folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Friday. It is May 9th. We made it to Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. It is also the first day of Pittsburgh Steelers rookie minicamp, so I am on my way to UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. The rare morning practice. The Steelers usually practice in the afternoon for most of their year, but morning practice here for rookie camp, so I am on my way down there as we do this right now. And I want to talk about a player who's not going to be at rookie camp, but who certainly is kind of a rookie and someone has increased interest around these parts in the last couple of days, and that's Steelers wide receiver Roman Wilson. Wilson was a third-round pick last year out of Michigan. He was at rookie camp last year. And with the Steelers trading George Pickens, I've seen a lot of very widely spread opinions online about Roman Wilson and what he can or maybe should be for the Steelers this year. And I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts on the situation. Start with the facts. I assume everyone knows, but Roman Wilson had a number of injuries last year. He started out in minicamp healthy and wasn't doing that great in minicamp, to be honest. I was a little disappointed. Very similarly, though, to Joey Porter. I thought he had a struggle in his rookie minicamp, his minicamp and OTAs his first year, and then he really came on, and we saw a different guy in training camp, a guy that went toe-to-toe with George Pickens and was one of the big stories of camp. So I wasn't at that point concerned about Roman Wilson. It was just a notable development. Oh, yeah, it looks like he's, struggling a little bit with the transition to the NFL. Let's see how it goes. I had no concern about him as a prospect at that point. Then he gets to training camp, had the first couple of camp practices, which were no pads, which are basically the same as an OTA or mini camp practice, and he gets injured during 7 shots of the very first padded practice. Has a high ankle sprain, and it ends up being an injury that cost him most of the season. He tries to come back from this high ankle sprain earlier than maybe was warranted in season. And I got to say, he did not look good. He did not look physically like the same player we had seen in the spring or the same player that you saw on tape at Michigan. And so trying to come back, played in one game, I believe against the Raiders, a couple snaps, and pulls a hamstring in practice. So he misses the next game and goes out there at practice and injures it again. And at that point, he gets put on injured reserve and he gets shut down for a number of weeks. Now, at some point during the season, I don't really know when exactly, Roman Wilson got healthy enough to play. He could have played. But the Steelers decided not to activate him from the injured reserve. They left him there. And Mike Tomlin said after the season it was just because he didn't think that anybody on the roster deserved to be cut to make room for Roman Wilson at that point, the guy who had basically never practiced, basically never, had no experience in the offense, just was going to be walking in off the street, raw, rookie, and also had at that point had 3 injuries in not that many real practices. And so the Steelers decided just to keep him on the IR until the very end of the season. They brought him off the IR in the playoffs. Didn't play, but they brought him off the IR so that he could practice. And I got to say, the Roman Wilson that I saw in practice that last week was the best I saw him all year. I thought he looked really good. Like he looked like the player on tape in Michigan. Physical, smart, strong, tough, all those things. So what does that mean for what the Steelers should expect from Roman Wilson in 2025? Look, I mean, he can't replace George Pickens. First of all, they probably don't even play the same position. George Pickens is an outside receiver, mostly an X receiver, but I think he was going to be a Z receiver with DK Metcalf in the fold. Okay. Roman Wilson has a body type and a skill set combination that does not lead itself to success in the NFL on the outside very often. He is not that tall. He's about 5'11". He also does not have elite separating skills. Most of the time when you see a shorter receiver outside, It's because they have incredible separation skills so that they can get away from press coverage before it becomes a press. Deontay Johnson can do that. Tyreek Hill is probably the best example of that. There are others in terms of really smaller guys that can make it work on the outside. I don't want to say Roman Wilson can't. I hate saying that players can't do things. But I'll just say it's unlikely for players of Roman Wilson's size and skill set to have a lot of success as an outside receiver in the NFL. It's more likely that he is going to be a slot receiver. And of course, the Steelers already have a slot receiver in Calvin Austin. It's okay, you get them more than one. They can rotate, they can play two at a time. Steelers also play a ton of tight splits in Arthur Smith's offense, which does, in many ways, minimize needing to have a true outside receiver. It gives them a lot of inside receiver looks for all of their receivers. So Roman Wilson can play a good bit, and he might be an important part of what the Steelers are doing. But the idea that he is going to be able to replace George Pickens, that's probably putting too much on the young man's plate. On the other hand, I see some people that say the Steelers should just be writing him off as a prospect altogether. That's crazy too. Like I said, he looked great at the end of last season. Injuries during player development as a rookie can be very difficult to overcome. We've seen many lost seasons as a rookie due to injury. And I think it's funny that Roman Wilson's injury wasn't as bad, but he missed just as much time as a guy like Troy Fautanu or Calvin Austin did in his rookie year. And yet, everyone's very. I see a lot of people very down on Roman, and I didn't remember people giving up on Calvin Austin because he got hurt once. It's very strange to me that narrative is out there that he's just some bust who's never going to turn into anything just because he had a tough year injury-wise. Probably a bunch of Ohio State fans, if I had to guess. So, can the Steelers use Roman Wilson to replace George Pickens? No. Can Roman Wilson be a useful player for the Steelers, an important part of their offense? Yes, but there has to be somebody else for that outside receiver role. That's all I got for this. Hey, all right, one more thing. Someone who might be able to fill that role is going to be at rookie camp this week, even though the Steelers didn't draft a wide receiver, and that's Rock Taylor from Memphis. He's an interesting guy. He's a big guy. He can play outside. Right now, if you had to do a depth chart and you're looking at the undrafted free agents, he might be the one with the best path to spot on the 53-man roster. So it'll be very good to see what he looks like in a Steelers uniform. All right, that's all I've got for today. More with me and Brendan Howe from rookie camp later on, afternoon drive, Smitty and DB. And so stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, enjoy.